High blood pressure, high cholesterol problem for you? So welcome to my kitchen. So my name is Dr. Joe Brown, and what I want to do with you guys today is explain to you a little bit about not just how, but why I want you eating garlic. One of the best superfoods on the face of the planet. The reason why I want to talk to you guys about garlic today is for this reason. So over the years, I've had patient after patient in my office, usually with high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, etc., and or concerns for stroke or heart problems. Now, I will tell you, you guys have probably heard me talk about this, garlic. It is literally one of the best foods. I always call it the best food on the planet, or pound for pound, the best food on the planet. And the reason why I say that is because garlic is one of these superfoods that it not just, and listen to this, it decreases cholesterol, it decreases triglycerides, it regulates your blood pressure. So if you have high blood pressure, it's going to bring your blood pressure down. It's antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal. It's literally one of the best foods on the planet. It increases white blood cells with a specific affinity for CD8 cells, also called, or which regulates the natural killer cell function in your activity. So it cleans your liver and cleans your system, cleans your macrophages, cleans your lymph nodes in your neck. It's literally one of the best foods on the planet. But one of the things that I've realized that over the years when I put them on a special diet to either increase their immune system, they might be a cancer patient, to lower their cholesterol or triglycerides or blood pressure because they're taking statin drugs or any of the high blood pressure, hypertension type of drugs. When I put them on a special diet, I am usually using garlic as well as a number of different herbs and vitamins, supplements, and things like that. But one of the concerns is that when I put people on this, they go home, and usually for that first week, when I tell them to eat 3 to 4 to 5 cloves of this a day, they don't do it right. In fact, they're doing it completely wrong. They end up getting upset stomach. And so what I want to do with you guys is I want to just explain to you, and I want to show you how to eat garlic properly. So if you can just zoom in here for a second. When I say I want you eating 3 or 4 or 5 cloves of garlic a day, so this is what we call essentially a bulb of garlic. Now, what I want you doing is I want you breaking these cloves off of the bulb, okay? Now, when you're going to clean the garlic, cut this end off, cut the other end off, and you can either try to start pulling off this, lightly thin white paper off of it, but the easy way to do it is just to put it in your palm of your hand and do this for a couple seconds, and it comes right off, okay? See how clean it is. Now, let me show you for a second. When I tell people I want you eating 2 or 3 cloves of garlic, 3 or 4 or 5 cloves of garlic a day, what is the best way and how to do this? I do not want you to just clean this and eat it. That's incorrect. Because what you're going to do is, the whole purpose of garlic and why it works is that inside of garlic is sulfur bonds. So what I want you doing is I want you cutting the garlic really, really fine. The more that you cut it, the more you break the sulfur bonds within the garlic. Okay? Now, when people say, well, Dr. Joe, how am I going to eat garlic? I'm going to smell like garlic. The reason why you smell like garlic is because garlic contains sulfur bonds. Sulfur, if you go back to chemistry class, is the same thing that sulfur has that like egg smell to it, that sulfur smell to it. Now, when you chop the garlic up like this, again, cut it even finer, okay? I want you to cut this garlic until it's really, really in small pieces, because the more you cut it, you're breaking those sulfur bonds. Now, why is that important? Okay? So if you can just zoom back out here for a second. Why is that important? Because when you break the sulfur bonds of the garlic, I don't want you eating garlic right away. What I want you doing is I want you cleaning it, cutting it up into a fine, small, chopped amount of garlic, and I want you to leave it on the counter for about 10 minutes, okay? Because when you're cutting the garlic, and the finer you cut it, like I said, you're breaking those sulfur bonds within the garlic. But the sulfur, even though it's active, it becomes super active, if you will, when oxygen hits it, okay? So there's oxygen in the air around us all the time. And the reason why garlic works so well is because inside of garlic is that sulfur compound. When you cut it, you break the sulfur bonds. But the key is to leave it on the cutting board or put it in a bowl for about 10 minutes before you eat it. That's the key. Because when you let it sit for about 10 minutes, the oxygen activates the sulfur bonds. Then when you eat the garlic, what you're doing is you're getting all those active sulfur bonds in your system. And that's what lowers your cholesterol, lowers your triglycerides, your blood pressure, increases your immune system. And that's what's antibacterial, antifungal, and antiviral. Okay? Now, the last thing I want to share with you is when you're eating the garlic, again, don't try to just cut this 1 or 2 times, chew it for 2 or 3 seconds, and swallow it. You're going to get an upset stomach. If you cut it really finely, like the way I just showed you, let it sit for about 10 minutes so that oxygen is activating those sulfur bonds, and then you consume it. Yes, you're going to smell a little bit like garlic within the next few hours, but that's what's doing the trick. And if you do this for literally 2 or 3 weeks, your blood pressure and cholesterol and triglycerides will come down. I guarantee it. I've done this for years with people. Last thing I'm going to leave you with on this video is this, is that when you are consuming the garlic, remember, the reason why you're doing this is either because you have a bacterial, viral, or fungal infection, or you're trying to lower your cholesterol, triglycerides, or blood pressure. So when you're doing this, whatever you're going to make for the breakfast or for your lunch or for dinner, put this on top of your salads. Put this on top of your eggs. Put this on top of whatever it is that you're eating. Don't just try to eat this plain because, again, you have the chance of an upset stomach. But when you're doing this, I recommend to you, so people are always saying, well, Dr. Joe, I get what you're saying, but how are you going to eat this? And my colleagues are going to smell, I'm going to have garlic all over my breath and all over my skin. Eat this specifically at dinner time, because for the next 3 or 4 hours after dinner, so at 5 or 6 or 7 o'clock, whatever time you guys eat dinner, eat this in the evening, because for the next couple hours, yes, you're going to smell like garlic, not just the breath, but you're probably going to have an odor to your skin, especially when you first start doing it, because the more you do it, it's going to become less. But then when you take a shower in the evening or take a shower in the next morning, the garlic smell will be gone, okay? So you can brush your teeth in the morning and go to work or do whatever you're going to do, and you're not going to smell like garlic around all your peers. I'm Dr. Joe Brown. I hope that was helpful. Again, don't forget to leave me comments in the area below, because I want to make sure that I'm answering your guys' questions. I want to make sure that I'm getting you guys healthy, because there's too many people online leaving videos online that are talking about absolutely nothing, telephones and coronavirus and everything else. But they're not actually telling you about medical information. Medical information is not just for the rich. I'm Dr. Joe Brown. I want to help you guys. Remember, your health is in your hands.